Today, I would like to share a story with you. It is a story of Hashgacha Pratis, but I would like to focus on the emotions that came out of that and an understanding and davening that is most important. But first, the story. As you know, we are now living in Eretz Yisrael, and here there is, for the most part, socialized medicine, particularly for patients that are at home and require the doctors to come and visit them. Then the doctors that are available tend to be less quality than the doctors that you can get in the hospital or at a clinic. And so we have been struggling with finding a doctor, a consistent doctor that really understands Simcha Dov's condition and being able to have the greater picture in all situations, particularly when we go to the hospital, to be able to help advise us and direct us. So after our last situation, which was right before Pesach, where we really found the situation to be desperate, we decided it's important to hire a private doctor. I spoke to my own personal doctor, and he gave me a list of 3 doctors that he thought might be interested and available doing so. The middle one, he seemed to be most excited about. So I called that one first. And very curious, when I called that number, it showed up in my contacts as if he was already there. But I continued to make the phone call, and as I started to speak to the doctor, I started explaining our situation. I have a son, and he has ALS, and etc., etc. He stops me all of a sudden. He says, "1 second, are you from Milwaukee?" And I said, "Yes." I had not yet shared that information with him. He said, "I met you about 6 months ago in the coffee shop in Muncie." And I was thinking to myself, I don't recall that. And then the memory came back to me. Indeed, a number of months ago, I had been in the States for a Torah Masora convention. And I had visited a friend in Muncie, and we went out to eat at a bagel shop. And there, my friend introduced me to friends of his, who indeed had a son who was living in Israel, who was a doctor. The son was visiting them at the time. And after speaking for a short time, he gave me his number so that I could call him in case I had any needs for him. He was a doctor in Hadassah Hospital, which is the hospital that we always use. But I had promptly forgotten about it and really did not recall it until that moment. So indeed, he was there, and he was familiar with our story because I had shared a lot of the information with him then. He was indeed willing to take us on, and it was very easy for him to make that decision because he was already familiar with our story, and we already were connected through friends and family. Since that time, it indeed is a tremendous pleasure and sense of comfort to be able to have a doctor that we're able to call and contact whenever we need to. And we have set up a daily WhatsApp chat where we're able to share information. It is that emotion that I would like to share with you that provided an insight into a tefillah that we say every day. The Bracha of Rafa'enu that we say every day in Shmoneh Esrei, a Bracha, of course, which we try to have a lot of kavanah, ends with very peculiar wording. It says, Roifei choyle amo Yisrael. Why does this bracha need to specify that Hashem is the Roifei, the doctor for choyle amo Yisrael, for the sick people that are of His nation Yisrael? Most of the brachas of Shmoneh Esrei are not specified and geared specifically for Klal Yisrael, His nation. Mevorech Hashonim, Roitze B'Shuva, Shemei Tefillah. Even when we say that Hashem is the one who is going to be Bnei Yerushalayim, we don't mention Klal Yisrael in specific. Why doesn't it just say that Hashem is the Roifei Cholim? Why does it have to say Amo Yisrael? And I saw a word from Shimshon Pinkus that says that Hashem is the Roifei Cholim Amo Yisrael, meaning that Hashem has specialized in healing His own nation. When you go to a doctor, you go to one that specializes in the situation that you need, whether it's a cardiologist or whether it's a doctor that specializes in whatever challenges that you have. So Hashem specializes in Choyle Amo Yisrael, and therefore there's an extra sense of comfort when we turn to Hashem. Indeed, that is the feeling that we have when your doctor knows what our challenges are. He is familiar with ALS and the challenges that go along with the breathing of the trach and all of the other conditions that are within Dov's specific challenge. While this doctor may not be specifically an ALS doctor, has a lot of experience with similar type conditions, and his knowledge has been a tremendous comfort. But I want to add on to that and that is He is our doctor. He's a doctor we're able to call when we need to. He's a doctor we're able to contact at any time of the day. The amount of comfort that has brought us is immeasurable and is very difficult to describe. And included in that bracha, when we say that Hashem is the Roifei Chorei Am Yisrael, not only does He specialize in Klal Yisrael and knowing what our challenges are and what our needs are, but He's available to us. He's available to us whenever we want. Certainly the 3 times a day when we daven Shmoneh Esrei, but even whenever we want. Hashem is our doctor. He knows our conditions. He knows our challenges. He knows what we need to do in order to get better. And He is always available. I would like to take this time to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for indeed all the Hashgacha Pratis that led us to this situation. And it was clear that Hashem's hand was involved in everything that happened, but also all of the emotions that go along. And just as we find comfort in a physical human doctor, may we continue to find comfort as we daven to Hashem, as we know that Hashem is the true Roifei, and He is indeed the Roifei Chorei Am Yisrael. May we be Zoiche, may we all be Zoiche to see Yeshuais and Refuais from everybody that we're davening about and for all we care for. And may they not only have a refuah from the current challenge, but a refuah shalema, that we will be able to rejoice and see them all standing in perfect health.